You found it, my fellows. Welcome to the American Roadrunner podcast, aptly named after the book American Roadrunner. Here in the next few episodes, we're going to have to break it into a few parts because it gets that exciting. This is Durango Road. I hopped on my old cop chop, did a nice little 750-mile hop in a day, got from here in Southern California up to Durango, Colorado, where I got to check out the Four Corners Motorcycle Rally and hang out with some fellow Stampeders, my friends the Jacks. You're going to get a few good road reports. You're going to get a good interview with the Jacks. That's Jer, Willie, and Ted. And then we're going to cap it all off with a very special interview. Stay clicked in. Enjoy the show. It's a beautiful day out here on the road. Road report. I'm up on the 40, mile marker 139, somewhere in the middle of northern Arizona. Just this side of Flagstaff, maybe 50, 60 miles, I'm not sure. Crockton Road it's called. So, got to leave Southern California, Riverside, my house there this morning. I was hoping to leave about 6 a.m., but it didn't happen till 7 a.m. So it got a little hot coming up to 15 on the 40 there before I got up here into the high country. It's about 5,000 feet up here, so it's a nice 85 degrees, but it probably got up to 95 there before I started climbing. It's been a pretty good day. A few nice bunches of high clouds here to protect us. I'm over here on the side of the road next to some gorgeous big yellow flowers that are as tall as I am. I had to stop in the middle of 40 there to get gas because it just works out to be 180 or 200 miles or something from my place, and it was real nice to I'm glad they're there. Apparently they're on regular power now, so they're no longer running on generators. So the gas was only $6 a gallon when I just paid $4 in California. Usually their gas there is about double, but I did okay. And then I went another, 70, 80, maybe 90 miles. And sure enough, I thought I'd ran out of gas because the bike stopped wanting to go. I switched it over into reserve and it still didn't want to go. When I looked down, I could see my fuel filter was full of fuel. I have a fuel filter just a few inches from the plug-in in my carb there. So I thought, well, this doesn't make any sense. So there I am at an off-ramp, and I get off the bike, and I go to push it across the intersection, just a quarter mile down the street, maybe to the gas station, and my saddle rack falls off. So I thought, well, no big deal. So I bend down to pick it up, and while I'm doing that, the whole freaking bike tips over on me. And I thought, wow, I must look like a real idiot out here in the middle of some intersection. And lucky for me, there's a big white truck behind me. And I remember I'd passed him probably a mile or two before the off-ramp. He had a big Harley Davidson sticker in his back window. So he was kind enough to turn on his flashers and hold up traffic while I sat there, picked up my bike like an idiot. Then my saddle rack fell off again. So this time I put my kickstand down, picked up my saddle rack, put it on the seat, tucked it under a freaking bungee, and then pushed the back quarter mile. Man, if it's not one thing, it's another. But I put some gas in it, and it still didn't want to start. So I finally took some gas and ran it down the throat of the carbs, and and then I just opened it up. And after about a minute, it finally got started. I reckon Geoff just sold me some bad freaking gas. So it's sputtered and spit the last 100 miles. I suspect there's a bit of water in the gas, but anyways, it's all working now. We're having a good time. It's a pretty day, nice and sunny. Looking forward to get up to Durango. Four Corners Motorcycle Show. Hang out with the Jacks. Sitting here skirting the storm. Skirting the storm. Just north of Flagstaff. Holy heck. Looks like a pretty big one, but it's to the east, and luckily I'm getting ready to head north. My freaking sunflower seeds exploded in my bag. I mean, I can't find, they're all at the bottom. So I had to break down and buy some new sunflower seeds. Sometimes you just gotta let it go. Nice and chilly. Yeah, the storm kissed me for a minute, and then let go, and kissed me again and let go. So I'm pretty excited to not be anywhere near it. But I think it's heading to the west, and I'm heading north. Got about another 300 miles to go. The road to Durango. The Durango Road. It's going to be a good one. So just a word to the wise. I'm trying out my new helmet. Just a full face while I'm eating a banana. Full face is definitely a little different than what I'm used to compared to my open face. I've noticed I go a lot faster, not realizing my speed, and then B, I just can't sip stuff to my lips like I want to. My coffee cup, my water bottle, whatever. So I rigged up a cool system. It's a thermos, and it's sitting on my handlebars, strapped to my handlebars, and I filled that up with coffee, and I've got like a 2-foot copper tube coming out of it. So that's working out pretty darn well. Necessity is the mother of invention. Or lazy people who really want to freaking sip coffee while being out on the open road. Roadrunner Report. Enjoying life. Well, my Durango Road has proven to be quite an exciting adventure. Just west of Durango is a town called Cortez, and I ended up fueling up there. There's about 50 miles between Cortez and Durango, and wouldn't you know, my bike wouldn't start because my electrical system had taken a crap. I had no charging available. That's the only meter I keep on my bike. Tells me how my charging system's doing. I just rode an hour in the dark with no headlight, no tail light, and the bike trying to sputter out. But I made it. But I gotta tell you, the worst part, the absolute worst part, is guess what doesn't work when you don't have electricity? The cigarette lighter. It was riding in the dark with a flashlight in my left hand so I could see the yellow of the road, trying to do my very best to follow the car in front of me. And that would have been great if we were on a straight long road and the speed limit was constant. But, man, west of Durango, it's up and down and left and right, and just not the place to be without a headlight. Lucky for me, I kept that switch on the bike. I just turned the headlight off and pretended it didn't exist, and there was nothing to be done about it. As far as deer and animals and critters and all that, I had to tell God, dear God, I know I don't go to church much, but my fellow Stampedo Velarde, I think he goes to church enough for all of us, so please let it count for something, and please make sure I don't run into any deer or God knows whatever else. Life is short. Damn, that was an adventure. Thank God I made it. After making it to Jer's last night, got to head on over here to Willies. Willie lives on the other side of Durango. But when I made it to Jer's, I hooked my battery up to a battery charger. I could see it was down to 10 volts, and it was not charging, was not having it. And I had to think it was an AGM battery that I've rebuilt twice, so I had to be okay with letting that one go. But hopped over to O'Reilly's, where everybody knew Jer's name, and got another battery. Unfortunately, the battery's a little bigger, even though it's the same number. But cheap $100 insurance. Still, the charging system's way broken. So yeah, hopped over to Willies. Willie has a few extra KZs. One of my favorites. It's a red one. It's got a nice Flying Marshall Racing sticker on the side of it, but apparently it blew a top end last year. He had taken it down to the El Diablo run a few years ago. I think down to Arizona as well. Anyways, great KZ, but I had to steal the left side off of it after Jer and I figured out my stator was smoking like a bandit. So off my stator came, but luckily, even though I carry a spare regulator rectifier, that was fine. So we got it all back together. We got the left side of the engine back together. Gasket was still good, but I still added a bit of black goop, and engine's holding fine. So I got the charging system working again, and we're going to have one heck of a party here tonight. Everybody and their mother's coming in. I had to walk a good 100 yards across Willie's property just to get this kind of quiet. It's good to have friends and good places. Friends who have parts and they're happy to sacrifice a whole engine on a bike just to make sure you can get home. So got a new left side cover on the engine for the stator. Life is good. And I was able to do a few other ratchet things to the scoot. Unfortunately, the back tire had really shredded. So, lucky for me, Jer had an extra 18-inch rear tire, which can be hard to find. But he had one. It was the one I gave him in Mexico a few months ago. Needless to say, it all worked out. I was able to rip it off. They got a tire machine there at Willies. And, boy, Willie had that tire off the rim in no time flat. And since the bike was up on Willie's lift, it was all pretty darn easy. I also found a mount that holds my back fender on. It had come undone. The welds had broken, which was odd because I've never had any welds that I've done break. But I guess after 100,000 miles on any motorcycle that's rigid, stuff's going to break. So I got to weld that up as well. Things are good. Bike's back in action. Everything should be good. I should lose a little less oil too, because the left side engine is all happening. Been a good trip here so far. Friday night. The rally officially starts tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. Life is good. Saturday night. Boy, I got to tell you, the party last night at Willies was epic. We were all out a little too late. I ended up coming back across Durango, some 20 some odd miles, about 2 in the morning. Boy, it was cold. Nearly froze my ears off because I forgot my helmet. But the bike ran good, and everything else is good. Came back to Jer's, crashed out for a few hours, woke up, went and had breakfast in Bayfield. That was exciting because we did a really good interview I'm going to put on here. The Sons of Bayfield. That's Willie, Jer, and their dad, Ted. Just an epic character. I can't say enough awesome things about that guy. It was very educational, too. So, yeah, Ted's motorcycle group is the Sons of Bayfield. A lot of people around here called Jer and Willie the Sons of Bayfield. So they come from a long lineage of motorcyclists. So it was really cool to sit down and get a good interview with them. We'll put that up here soon enough. The breakfast was awesome. I was a little late and didn't get too much, but boy, Bayfield's just probably 30 miles, maybe 20 miles to the east of Durango. Great little ride, great little town. And yeah, this is all at the Jack's house. So that was great. And then we came back into town and everyone started racing, including Jared's dad. They got this old, I think it was a 40, they're calling it a 42. Got it all back together and just an old flathead, man. So we're excited. We were really excited to see what that would do at the races. And it was great to run into a bunch of people at the flat track races. And I know Jer and Willie and Velarde, they all got out there on their freaking rigid Stampede chops on the Run What You Brun. And man, they just had a really good time. I was kind of bummed I didn't join in the fun, but I've learned, man, my cop chop is not happy racing if it's not on road. So, good times. We're all, we just got back to Jer's. After that big event, dump truck took Annette and I out to the old El Rancho bar, which was really cool. Next to that, I guess they had a bunch of stuff going. Annette ended up doing a girls' ride today, and they went a few cool places and ended up back at the El Rancho bar in downtown Durango there. Annette actually won an award. Most female traveled most miles to get to the event. So that turned out pretty cool for her. She's been on the road for 14, 15 days now or something. She went up to Oregon for the Dream Roll and hung out here, hung out there. Anyway, she's done 3,000 or 4,000 miles, I reckon. Just having a good time. So it's nice to be back here. Hanging out with Dump Truck was great, but we only did that for about an hour. We're still pretty tired from the party from last night. So tomorrow's a brand new day, though. Scoot's running good. Things are happening. Although I'm having a bit of a front brake issue, so I might have to. I suspect the pads are just worn out, which is weird because I never use a front brake. But I reckon if I look around town, I'll find another motorcycle or an old motorcycle that I can rob the front brakes off of. Should be good times. Ted probably doesn't have to turn his phone off.
You got your phone on you?
Yeah.
I wonder what it was. Think anybody will call you? I left it at them dang thing, there's no place to put them. I got my shirt pocket. I got a charger in the other room.
Pocket on you.
So what I had to do is just go toss my phone in the charger. There's one right there.
Okay, you guys ready?
Yes, sir.
How exciting. Bayfield, Colorado. Pretty darn close to Durango, Colorado. If y'all have heard the show before, you might know who Jer is, which we don't really care about today. We care about the fact we're here with his dad, Ted, and his brother, Willie, on Ted's property. This is where it all began. This is where it all ends. You guys tell me.
I don't know.
This place is great. I've never been at anything or any place so excited.
I think we should take some pictures of the shop.
We're going to have to take a lot of pictures of the shop.
And just so people get a sense of where we're at and what we're doing. But so we just finished my dad's 45 like just now, 5 minutes ago.
Right. 45
Me and my dad
flathead.
were working on it, I don't know, for all summer, really, even longer than that.
You want to explain what your bike is, Dad?
What?
Tell them what your motorcycle is.
45. Harley 45?
My motorcycle is, the latest one is a 19-something. The frame is a 1940. The motor is somewhat newer. We've modified a Triumph transmission to fit in it so that it will have a 4-speed transmission.
Oh, that's why it's on the right side.
Yeah.
It'll have a right-handed shift so we can drag my left foot around the racetrack.
Nice.
And it has a hand clutch now.
It's like my first bike with a hand clutch.
That was on the old Harleys of the day.
Yeah, that is.
We had like some pieces heliarched on the bottom of the transmission.
All right.
So it fits in the 45 mounts. Because the 45 originally came with the right side drive 3-speed.
3-speed.
Right. So yeah, this is, you can't put a ratchet top. There's not enough room for a big twin Harley transmission. So the trick thing to do with 45 is get the Triumph 4-speed.
We just wanted to do that.
Well, and
we've heard about it, but we've never known anybody.
Well, you did it once when I was a kid. You and John Martian did it.
John.
Yeah. And the other thing is, we got a shout out to the Shoops for giving us the transmission. Because that's one of the reasons we did it. Like Silver City Mike and his dad. Yeah. So our press brought it from Silver City. So
brought it to us.
Yeah. So the Shoops in Silver City
guys,
they get props for that, bringing us that transmission. Because we had to do a lot to it. We put a gear set in it and clutch plates, and it was quite a deal building that transmission. There, like in the book, there's just a picture and it says like a symbol. You know what I mean? There's no real instructions. The
only technical help we could find online was a man talking Italian.
Yeah, the only video on YouTube.
The only word we could understand was complicato.
That's great. Yeah, we went in and learned a little Italian. And
then we finally just said, okay, we've tried and looked for help. We're just going to put it in ourselves. And from that point, it took us about an hour to assemble something we'd been working on for several days.
Dude, the way that the gears stack up, because you got to put these shift forks on them, and the order in which they stacked was odd to us.
Was intense.
But
so you guys been working on this bike for a year.
Well, we got the frame.
Most of a year. I've been gathering up parts.
Right.
And I have enough extra parts now to build a trike.
Right. That's great.
My next project.
That's great.
And the thing is, my dad has a Hado 45 since what?
Yeah, I cut my teeth on a 1945 45. I was the only one in Ignacio schools, and I was the only one in the 8th grade with their own Harley Davidson.
You had your own Harley in 8th grade. You could cruise back and forth. This is over at Ignacio next door.
Then I got into the
next
larger
town over.
motors.
Yeah.
And for some reason now I want to go back to a 45. All of a sudden it seemed like a good idea.
Right.
And
flathead Ted.
We're hard heads. We're hard heads, and nobody can talk about it.
Amen, sir.
Once we get an idea in our mind,
right.
And no matter how difficult and how angry it makes us, when it don't fit, the challenges are.
So last year we did the Hooligan Dirt Dash, and my dad ran his 1938 Harley with the UL motor in it, the big 180, and we had so much fun doing it that he went home and started building this flat tracker that he's got now, this 45 motor, and we just almost hit the wall multiple times this week on it. Couldn't get it running.
Shout out to our brother-in-law Fred.
Yeah,
I had turned every screw on that carburetor, every way you could turn it.
Between Spencer lining us out on the ignition.
Spencer came and tuned the back. Shout out Spencer Claus.
But it's cool.
We call in all the favorites.
Takes a village, man.
But the machinist worked overtime.
Yeah.
Gary Gerber.
Just to help us out.
So we're on cloud 9 right now because we just got it running. We did like 5 laps up and down the street and got it in the trailer.
Yeah,
and the
races, real good.
What time is it now?
We're going to be taking, so how many
hours? It's 12:30 now, and we have to be there at 4 o'clock for racers meeting, and we're doing this now. So.
I love it. This is the perfect time.
Last year, I was in my 70s, and my motorcycle is 10 years older than I am.
Yeah,
My motorcycle is 80-something years old.
Yeah.
This one is from the 40s.
A little newer. Move in progress. Forward.
We're going to tell
Forward
people
progress.
it's a 47.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, it certainly is beautiful. It's yellow. You picked yellow, not hornet color.
So I went to Sturgis in 83 on a yellow and black motorcycle.
Ah, okay.
And one day I was at the hamburger stand, and this guy whipped around and come back, and he had a beautiful show bike that was painted yellow and black, trimmed in red like mine.
Okay.
He said, whoa, he said, we got only 2 yellow motorcycles in Sturgis.
There's actually a
and
picture.
I had to go meet all his friends and show him my motorcycle.
Yeah.
And then we had to go
The
to
other
his
yellow
camp,
guy.
And he come over to my camp so I could show my friends his motorcycle.
Oh,
Was
that's
that
great.
the year you were sucking toilets at Lamphere's? That's a campground, or is that a different year?
That was a 90. Remember when
That was in the 80s when I did
Oh,
that.
okay. Yeah.
And now I went back 10 years later, and
Right.
there was yellow Yamahas, yellow Hondas, yellow Kawasaki, Harleys,
Right.
everything. You know, a lot of yellow motorcycles.
Well, it looks really good. And even the trailer matches.
Yeah,
my dad was on a yellow kick.
It's funny, his boots.
years.
Oh, he did clean his boots out, but his boots did match.
Yellow?
Yeah.
Oh,
It takes
that's
two
good.
of us to pour paint in a gun, apparently.
It takes more than 2 because you guys still.
Yeah, that's true. Apparently,
Well, and
it's more than
there's quite an operation here. This is a good acre and a half.
Yeah.
it borders the Pine River. Like,
Wow.
you might be able to hear it through the window. Just
Oh, yeah.
directly behind
We're actually on
us.
an island right here because
Yeah, it's
Okay,
the river
okay.
force around us, so you have to cross a
When
bridge.
we got done, when we started, there were no 2 pieces connected.
Yeah.
We had a frame. This friend of mine gave me an old 30.
Sherry Brown,
frame,
dude, like a female mechanic.
out of the
we
desert
started
hardest
things
old
off
lady,
the internet,
yeah, or something.
1 piece at a time.
Yeah, we showed my dad eBay and his mind about exploding.
Right.
Yeah,
How's that
he's
treat
smart
you?
because of that. He's like,
We went all the way to the
working on
spot
learning
meet on Denver. We showed him how to use our cell phones and look at parts on Chopper Swapper at eBay, and he's just going nuts, man.
Yeah, I went and got I got an iPod now. And
He went and took computer classes at the library, so he can look
Yeah,
at motorcycle
PayPal
parts.
go in
Yeah,
there,
he's got his
like
own
eBay
PayPal.
account.
It's going to be dangerous.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
I know.
scalpers.
You gotta be careful. Right?
ever since these guys were little, we'd make an annual trip down to Denver to the biggest swap meet in this
Right.
area.
Right.
And we would make a 2 or 3 day holiday out of it. And now we find more things in 10 minutes online
I
in
know.
2 days.
Great.
It's all just twin cam takeoffs, a lot of it. We always come back with some crumbs. Every
We did
single
source
year.
some 45 parts up here. He paid
Yeah.
top dollar for them, but he got them. You know what I
And I
mean?
think
And
we-
sometimes you got to
And
pay.
you know, every year remember we got that chrome cow pie for $100 that one
oh,
time.
yeah, we've cleaned house a couple
Yeah.
times.
There's always been like one, but this year, man, we brought a bunch of stuff to sell, and we didn't hardly sell anything. But like 20 people asked us for handlebar clocks. I don't know. I guess we're missing the
For their
mark.
Sportsters.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently nobody's into the same stuff that we are. I thought
We had,
we
like,
were going
king
to
and
go.
queen seats.
We had
like, some
Vader
cool
wheels,
stuff.
cool
Vader-
stuff, 6-bin
Don't want
pullback.
any of that stuff. Yeah, a bunch. We had a whole
This
pile
year-
of that 6-bin.
At the swap meet, I looked at the available 45 parts, and it seemed like they were all quite high, and some of them had problems.
Right.
So I was trying to Jew the guy down on them 1 piece at a time, and he said, we ain't got time for all this. He said, just stack everything you want on the counter, and we're going to do it once.
Yeah.
And he stood up, and then he gave me a really good deal. I got everything I
Okay.
needed.
We got like a tote.
coming under budget on the whole deal.
That's good.
You know,
Well, it is amazing how prices have gone. I just can't believe you can't find what you need here on property.
Yeah.
You got so many
It's all
motorcycle
big
parts.
stuff.
I do have at least one complete motorcycle.
Yeah, there's some.
Well,
We're
had
starting
enough
on another one right after this.
Yeah, we're building another day to it now.
That's great. Yeah, we happen to just be in a small room that's part of the shop. The shop itself it's an old barn.
Yeah, it's a barn.
Right, and
My
yeah.
grandpa's tax shed.
Okay. Yeah, well, it's pretty gigantic. I must admit, there's a few Hondas Gold Wings on property that are kind of
Dude,
off in the
you see
sheds.
that
I'm a little
gold?
disappointed, Jer.
Well, the
That one's
story
got fuel injection. It's a 1200.
Right,
fuel
right.
injection 1200, and it has a computer. It says travel computer, new for 84.
Right.
Travel
But the story
computer.
with the old one with the checker flags on it, we had a friend that lived in town named Pat Metter, and he was sick and dying, and my father bought that motorcycle and he spent the summer touring, where was it, Missouri that he was from? Arkansas?
Nebraska.
But anyhow, he spent the whole
Nebraska.
summer on that
That's
Goldwing
great.
the year before he died, visiting all of his family one last time and everything. And then when he died, my dad got the bike back. And
I kept it here, and they had a big chopper thing going on at Cottonwood outside. It said,
Smoke Out West.
Oh,
And the
Smoke Out
police
West.
had impounded my chopper. They said I had so many different parts on it. I must be a thief. I must be stealing motorcycles, and it took me 10 months to get it back.
And it
Yeah,
almost didn't
yeah.
happen multiple times.
So he had an assigned ID tag from the state, which is like a VIN tag, and some of the numbers were scratched off. And he had registration that matched 90% of the numbers,
Wow.
but it was called obliterated VIN. And
Jesus.
Yeah,
What a pain.
it's kind of, I wrote the story, and it's been published in a national magazine.
Charlie put it in a horse magazine.
2016.
Nice.
And,
Yeah.
but as all I had was Pat Metter's old Honda, and by then the tire was flat on the front, and they had pounded my chopper, and they had this big chopper thing I really wanted to go to. And I told the boys, stay here with me and help me get something going. And they said, no, our buddies are leaving us out. We all got to go with our little punk friends. And away they went and left me at home with a...
Right.
I think you remember that
This is
story.
great.
I changed my
go.
oil, and then I get down there a day late, and I pull in the parking lot, and they come in, and they were like, oh, buddy.
Oh, he remembers that whole story completely wrong. I rode with
I
him.
was trying to kick their ass like I did when they was little.
He's
And I
telling the
can't
story
do
all
that
wrong.
high no more. I can't kick that high.
So remember we
The
rode
Jesus
together.
freaks called me over. The friends of Jesus called me over, and they said, you're not supposed to act like that. What is your problem, old man? And they give me a cup
His
of coffee
stories
and
are
calmed
running
me
together.
down, and then I went back, and I said, okay, sorry, I was an idiot. And
But riding a bagger to a chopper party when you got a flathead 80 chopper in the impound
he
must
was
be
just
pretty
telling
hard.
people too, like strangers. He'd show them like a picture and be like, I'm just riding this Goldwing because I have to.
I really, here's a
I
picture of my
other
road
six
bike.
bikes or Harleys.
Right.
But I didn't care. I went there, and then we all went out.
Because remember my battery rubbed through on my shovel
I get
head.
kind of crazy in the morning before I eat with my blood sugar. And so we all went down and eat, and then they helped me set up my tent and make my camp and get us all squared away.
Right.
And it was a really good weekend. We had a
No,
lot
that
of
was
fun
the
after
year
that.
I was in Milwaukee, right? And I
You
flew
rode
in.
in late.
That's right. I got off the plane at 1. I got on the bike at 3. I showed up at noon or whatever, or earlier than that. And then everybody wanted to leave, right? And
Remember we
went back to
rode in the
Flagstaff
night
that
up
night.
the Oak Creek Canyon and we went to Flagstaff.
That was awesome.
And Vince was with us, remember?
That's
was
an
a good
awesome
trip.
ride.
Dude, that 89 is-
Yeah.
Everybody ought to go
If you go
do
from
that,
Sedona to
you know?
Flagstaff on
They used to
89A, man.
They used to send us to Holbrook when we were kids, like for the summer. We thought
Oh,
that's
yeah,
all
Colorado.
Arizona was. All Arizona. And then we got on 89A and it really blew our minds.
Yeah,
and,
we're like-
and the beauty thing was the first time we did it, nobody else was on the road. Since we've gone back a number of times since, and I don't know if it was ever as good as that first
Yeah, it'll never be that good ever again, man.
Well, it is funny how it's moved on, though. I mean, Flathead Ted, how do you feel about these guys racing old choppers across country with me and some other of our ruffian
Yeah,
friends?
that's right. I don't know if you knew that, but Bob did Stampede. with
Yeah.
that. That's how we know Bob. That's how
I put them on the path. I helped him chop their first Honda.
Yeah.
But
he was
Jeremiah,
pretty
that
excited. I
giant
got him with a
chopper.
hacksaw. Yeah, dude, I was like 15. Might have like pawned a set of sockets to
His
get
Mac
to
tools.
shake up the cash to get it, man. And I rode that to high school like every day, man. Like that was actually a runner, man.
But we've always had a motorcycle in some
Yeah, there was
form or
never
the other.
a time, but like I would say that we had bikes before we were born. That really was.
Oh,
you might have knew you was gonna have to.
He
point-
bought us a Togo
Yeah,
one
Cushman.
time with like a Briggs & Stratton motor, and he went to work in the mine, and we put all of his antique Harley spark plugs in it. Remember that?
Dude, we opened
We had a whole
every box. We
case
had
of
a
them,
case
dude.
of unopened vintage Harley Sports with all wrapped in paper. I don't know why we thought that one was gonna be different. You know,
Yeah,
like
all
down
right.
in the box. They're all the same box.
We could never make him run, man. That was the most disappointing motorcycle.
The
And then he did
you
some
know.
welding trade and got us a 110 Honda street bike when I was 8 or 9 when we first got it. But
And that's when Willie got his first moving violation.
yeah, they caught me in Silverton on the Shrine of the Mine Road on a
It's
Honda street bike when I was 9 and
No
gave me-
driver's license. Where's your driver's license?
8 or 9 years old.
And how many times did they ask you for your license?
I don't know.
So he got his first driver's license when he was 16, and it was 3 points short. Fell up in a 3-point violation.
But we had to go to court, and the judge in the town looked like an old wizard. He had an old gray beard all the way. Remember that old judge?
When Willie got the ticket, I said, come on. I took him downtown Silverton, and we went from place to place. And I said, my boy got a $90 ticket for driving.
And this is
without a
92, so
driver-
$90 was
Yeah,
like
a lot
a
more.
lot.
Got a driver's license, and he's only 9 years old, but I want to make him responsible. And would you give him a job so he could have? I said, what do you mean give that kid a job? My brother-in-law's on the town board. You know, we'll settle this. And so we went down there and on court date, and I made our case, and the judge said, yeah, $90 is pretty severe. If you will do some community service, we'll suspend the $90 fine. So Willie and we had to help the firemen.
It was
Oh, no, I
Christmas
was there
time,
too.
by the way.
I
Make
just
the
went
Santa
and did
Claus
it.
bags. We
We
had
were
to
like
put the
eating
oranges in the
candy.
Santa Claus bags. And everybody down there was a tip under the wind. You know?
You know, it's funny, the cop
It was
got
the biggest
drunk.
party we'd been to all year.
Yeah.
And that
And
was
we did like an hour, and he's like, yeah, that'll do. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah, we had to stand in an assembly line and fill bags for Santa to hand out. But
Oh, that's great.
those are good times, man. That's a whole nother world. man.
We, you know, they wanted motorcycles. Some of their friends had brand new little bikes. And I told them, no, we can't borrow money to buy
He used to take us to the
toys."
Honda shop and let us
we
sit on all the
showed
new
us
motorcycles.
Like so many times. Man.
Yeah, I was a bad dad. I wouldn't buy a motorcycle, you know.
Well, you're right. There's no reason to borrow money against it. That's for
now
sure.
they don't know how to
See, with
quit.
our bicycles,
Yeah.
man, we used to ragtag get some
Oh,
BMX
yeah.
stuff, man. Like,
Yeah, when you're done, there's still a couple of bicycles hanging on the back.
dude,
Oh,
we
yeah,
built,
I saw
we
that.
built some
It's quite the
choppers. We
collection.
built like
We turned a
upside
bike
down.
frame. My dad showed us he turned a bike frame upside down and welded a new seat post. It was like
And then
7
you
to 8
spin
feet in the
handlebars,
air.
too.
Oh,
We used to ride around town with this
Dude, I rode
8-foot
that to
tall
middle
bike.
school every day. Serious. I'd run next to it, hop.
started up.
Yeah, getting on it was the hard part.
It was
Once you
funny
got
because
it going.
some lady in town, she was like, I remember you boys ride those crazy bicycles, and I got these crazy motorcycles.
Right.
Yeah, we were chopping bicycles before we were chopping motorcycles, man.
Yeah, that's funny. No, I was very similar. I know on my dead end street, half the people who live there grew up with me. They still call me Bobby, and they watch me ride motorcycles up and down the street now instead of riding my bicycles like I used to. That's pretty good. Well, what you feeling ready to race today, Ted?
Gotta be.
Yeah.
Ready or not, here it
It
comes.
looks like everything's set.
You
I mean,
know,
there's a whole
The
village.
bike's in the trailer, dude. It
Yeah.
ran when we put it in the trailer, so we're assuming it'll run when we get it out.
I've been pretty stressed out about this whole thing, right? The last few days.
Oh,
haven't
I'm
been
sure.
eating right. And I ate something I shouldn't eat just going to bed last night. And I was having heartburn. I thought maybe I was having a heart attack. And I
Yeah.
thought, here I am. I'm going to get up in the morning sick and go to have a heart attack in the middle of the race today. Maybe I better just stay in bed.
Yeah.
And, but I got up and then we had an outrageous party and
Yeah, we
Yeah,
had the best turnout
breakfast.
ever for
Breakfast
breakfast.
in
the best one
Bayfield.
we ever had.
That was a good
You know,
one.
Made a bunch of new friends that came this year.
Oh, it was
Old
awesome.
friends, family.
Oh, that was
Best
amazing.
one we ever had. And hopefully I'll see most of these guys again another time.
Yeah.
I've only heard of me and I've only heard of them.
Just like you and my father. I mean,
Oh,
I know
I
we've
know.
talked
It's
about
such a
you
pleasure to
him
meet
and
you,
him
Ted.
and you,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, you and Velarde have been here a bunch of times.
I know.
You're here.
Never here in Bayfield. We're always
yeah,
next door in
never-
Durango.
Yeah, first time I seen Willardy, he was wearing a long
Bless you.
fur coat.
Yeah.
You know, just like
That's Velarde.
He's always had
Playboy.
swagger, that guy,
Yeah.
for sure, man.
Oh, that's great.
I asked his girlfriend how they met, and she's like, I was at this wedding, and he was wearing an all-purple suit, and I was like, yep. She's like,
That's
I
the
gotta go
man.
and beat that guy.
I've had friends come through. Our friend Martian was a 45. His name was Martin, but they called him Martian.
Cool.
And
He lived in the backyard in a van for a while.
The boys were telling
He could
some of
really tune a Triumph, man. Feel that respectfully. You had 9 45s, right? How many 45s?
13.
13.
But the boys were telling their friends the other day, they were saying, my father had brought some of the strangest people over in Harley.
They called him Martian because he was a weirdo.
He was a
And
weirdo.
Don Don, my dad's other friend.
Yeah, we had a friend named Don Dog because he talked to himself all the
It was
time.
like there was 2 Dons. Like,
There was a long line of them, you know.
But as children, we grew up around all these people, and we've been able to pick the good out of all of these different people over the years. You know what I mean?
Kevin.
Somebody told me you can't teach your kids everything they need to know. Surround them with smart people or good people. And I take them out on the reservation and introduce them to my Indian friends.
There,
and,
yeah, both them.
my hippie
Bravo.
friends and my church friends, my veterans friends, my truck driving friends, my construction working.
Yeah, me and my neighbor were having that conversation. I feel like I can hang out with just about anybody.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
Like
You
I've been
brought the whole
exposed to
village
so
in.
many. I mean, you know, with religion and motorcycles, and I've been exposed to so many things over the years. You know, it's like
Yeah.
we can kind of go almost anywhere, you know, and fit in. But
Yeah.
They have an older brother.
Yeah. Yeah. Earl.
And,
Harley.
Harley.
So he had his older brother, and the hippie women were telling me, if your wife is breastfeeding, you won't get another kid for 2 years. So Jeremiah comes along in 2 years, and I said, well, this is working really well. And then 9 months later, Willie was born. These guys are more like twins than
They really are.
They used to dress
That's why they're
like
so
we were
close.
little.
even now, we still go to the same parties and do the same things. We get the same shirts, and we gotta call each other before we do.
Call each
We go to
other.
places
Oh,
like,
yeah.
what clothes are you wearing? You know, so we don't wear the same hats and look stupid. you
Yeah,
know?
no, I did. Well, I did
Same
that the
age
other day
for
with
3
Jay.
months out of the year.
Yeah, that's true. No, you guys are real close.
It was hard having a brother like that because he wore all my socks. He used all my toothpaste. You know, he's always.
Right. You had to write your name in your underwear.
Yeah.
Make sure
And he
wasn't
still
wearing-
wore it.
And he still wore it.
These guys couldn't read anyway.
I didn't get my own bedroom till my oldest brother moved out of the house.
Yeah.
I've been roommates.
I wonder, Willie, why everything you say has a WJ on it. Now I
Right.
know everything you own. You
Oh,
know,
what
is
was that you
WJ.
said last night? You can find.
I still got
You can find where Jer's been.
You can find
Say WJ. Yeah.
right the shit on the road that Jared's dropping that says WJ. That's really famous. Oh, that's great.
He's lost more stuff.
I haven't lost stuff. Well, just sunscreen and stuff. I haven't lost any major things lately.
That's
There was
great.
a time where I lost $200 tents.
Down sleeping bags, burning them on his exhaust pipes, dragging them behind him.
Yeah, apparently I can't have upsweep pipes, man.
Or nice stuff.
Yeah.
And that's where we're going to end part 1 for now of Durango Road. What a great adventure it was. Happy to share it with you. This is your host, Bob Marshall, American Roadrunner Podcast. Let me know if you're interested in sponsorship. We're currently taking applications. Feel free to send me an email or direct message about that. Till next time, I'm off to Kernville myself. If you happen to be up there, stop by and say hi. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Stay clicked in, keep the rubber side down, be good humans, my